I'm Nicholas Picholas. This is Kiss 98.5 checking in with GRABBITZ today. It's nice to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, man. Long time no see.
It's been a while. I think last summer we got together and sort of talked music. And since then, I know you've been busy. You did some touring, you did some recording, and we're going to talk about the new song. But as we sit now, we're about 6 weeks into the stay-at-home quarantine, whatever you want to call it. How are you doing through all of this?
I'm doing great, man. Honestly, first and foremost, to make sure my family is safe. Everyone's good on that front. So just trying to keep the creative spark alive, honestly, and not doing a whole lot different than I normally do when I'm just creating and I'm in writing mode. So really just trying to tap into it and adapting, writing with people over Zoom. It's really just been a lot of that going on.
Friend of mine asked me to explain who you are or what you are, and I said, "Oh, GRABBITZ, he's a composer." Because in my mind, that's kind of what you do. Is it, like, what do you call yourself? Because you do a lot of different stuff, but I think first and foremost, you make music. You are a composer.
Totally. I just say artist to people. When I say artist, I say singer, honestly. Like, singer, producer, I say just artist in general. And then when they ask, I say, it's kind of a little bit of everything, but I mostly use my voice, and that's how I like to say it, I guess.
Before all of this stay-at-home stuff started, what did you have planned for spring of 2020?
Touring. I had a lot of dates with my buddy Yoltron, who's a cool DJ. We were going to go out and we were going to hit Texas, and we were going to hit Vegas, and we were going to hit Denver and Minneapolis, and all that got botched. I had just come off a North American tour with my buddy Sullivan King, and we had hit everywhere on that one. And then we were just going to go back at it. It was going to kind of pound the road all year, but now it's like plans change. Focus has got to shift up,
I know that you're kind of a studio rat, so this kind of has to be a dream come true where you can't do anything but mess around in the studio. So tell me what you cooked up and tell me about this new song.
So the new song, thankfully, yes, we're able to release music. We're able to still continue creating. And the writers, they got to come together, man. We had to adapt. Everybody had to call each other up and be like, all right, well, we can't get together, so we got to keep writing. We got to keep output going, because now releasing music's all people got. You got the live streams and whatnot, but we need to release quality music. So we put someone else out, REZZ and I, incredibly talented Toronto-based artist, huge in the EDM world. She's got an incredible cult-like fan base. And we created this song at the end of last year, and then finally we were able to put it out through RCA Records. And, clearly we got this big radio push going, and alternative stations are loving it. And it's gaining a lot of steam. So I'm really, really thankful we're able to do that and capitalize on that now.
GRABBITZ, I saw the title before I heard the song, and I thought, oh, this has to be a song about losing someone to someone else, or, a third party comes into the relationship. I thought it was sort of one of those breakup songs, like, oh my gosh, you found someone else. Nope, not at all. What's the song about?
It is definitely about thinking you know somebody and not knowing really the slightest about them, knowing one half of them that they choose to portray to you. And it kind of goes into this thing about dodging all these red flags that I probably should have noticed in the beginning. And then towards the bridge, there's a little bit of self-questioning, not really being certain of your own decision, and saying, maybe it's me, maybe this was you the whole time. And then it's like, nah, you were crazy the whole time.
What's the line about the red flags? It's not just red flags, but there's a particular line. What is the line?
I guess that's just the price I'll pay for the blood red flags that I walk past every day.
Yeah, classic line. There's definitely a dark tone to it. It sounds very underground, very alternative. My first instinct was like, oh, those sound like Trent Reznor notes, like Nine Inch Nails notes. And I know you're a big Trent Reznor fan. Was that in the back of your mind, or did it just happen?
I think Trent just intrinsically comes out of me at all times. But yeah, when it comes down to just creative choices, chord choices, overall mood choices, he always creeps in somewhere. And I think just part of that's because I've studied his music for so long, and it's such a huge inspiration that it's not intentional anymore. It's really just part of ingrained in what I love about music and what I love to create myself. So yeah, and REZZ also has a huge like industrial dark vibe to her music as well. So when we came together like that and added some of these chords and some of these major chords, it beautifully came together to sound like that.
As we're talking today, this is the week that the video dropped, and it's a very cool, very, I don't know, Matrix looking video. Like there's a lot going on to it. Were you part of it? Obviously you're in it, but were you part of the creative process, or did they just tell you to sit there and do your thing?
Yeah, no, we went back and forth on treatments and all this. Actually, the COVID situation really disrupted originally what was supposed to be. I was supposed to go up to Toronto, and we were going to do a whole bunch of filming and do this whole situation that was kind of like a love triangle type of thing. And, you know, I'm in love with somebody, she's falling in love with somebody else. And it wasn't necessarily like a literal meaning on the song, but then everything changed when we all got locked down and we had to rely on remote filming. So I filmed in my place with a sheet behind me. And, you know, so me on all those computer screens, I mean, that was, you know, my girl kind of just holding the phone, and it's quite funny actually. But then REZZ, all her parts were filmed remotely, and then he put together this treatment where he worked with the actress, and she's trying to get out of this. She's a robot, and she was built, and she's really not who she thinks she is, and then she feels the need to break out. So it was kind of a cool little spin on the lyrics, I thought.
If you're listening to this, you've probably seen the video. If you haven't, go check it out. It's on YouTube, and the song is called Someone Else. It's REZZ and GRABBITZ. And for those that don't know, you grew up in the Western New York, Buffalo area. Specifically, what school did you go to? And do you want to give any shout outs while we're on Zoom?
Yeah, I went to Iroquois. I mean, really, I'd like to just shout out all my friends supporting me growing up, because I've been doing this a really long time. I've been making music a really long time. And I've had nothing but a lot of positive reinforcement from all my friends and family. And really, I wouldn't be doing it if I don't know if I would be doing it if I was kind of shunned out or cast aside for doing that kind of stuff for so long. And now that I'm here, I'm really thankful for it. Got a great community here. Everyone's got each other's backs in one way or another.
Tell me about your first gig that you remember.
First gig that I remember is probably a rap gig, because I used to rap.
Come on.
Oh yeah, no, that's how GRABBITZ started. Really, that was my rap alter ego. Yeah, I was working with Che Hawk at the time, and we threw a gig down at like this art gallery in it was next to Shay's, I think. It was on Main Street before it was like a street, and when it was still closed off.
Yeah, you couldn't drive on it, but you could walk on it.
Yeah, so we got, I remember a bunch of people in high school, everyone just packed in there, and we got a whole bunch of people in there and put on a rap show. But, you know, even before that, I've been performing all over with my guitar and just playing out of my song notebook that was, you know, this thick. And I would go play in grad parties, my brother's friends' grad parties, and I played in front of fifth grade, you know, middle school, wherever it was. I was always playing somewhere. So,
are the biggest gigs the best gigs, or what can you tell me about performing on those big stages, those festival stages?
Sometimes they can be, sometimes they're not. I like the happy medium where you can see the back, mm-hmm. and you can really connect. I really like the ability to jump into the crowd or jump with the crowd and be right on there on the front railing. I think there's a huge connection that can be felt there. The big ones, I mean, it's just as cool when you see a wave of people and there's just no telling. You can't really connect with one person in particular, but you got to still give the same amount of energy, you know?
GRABBITZ, the new song is called Someone Else. It's with REZZ. Tell me a little bit about REZZ. You said big Toronto EDM DJ, but mm-hmm. I haven't seen her live. What's she like on the stage, and what can you tell me about her personally?
Oh, she's hypnotic, man. She's really, really cool. REZZ came onto the scene. It was so crazy. I actually we met back in Toronto in like 2016. I was just coming off the deadmau5 track. And we were backstage. We were at this club that deadmau5 was playing at, and we were back in the VIP section. And he had, I think, signed her to Mousetrap, his label. And she was just kind of hanging out, and I was hanging out, and I wanted to go introduce myself because I had known about her for a little bit. She was kind of buzzing a little bit. So I went and I put my hair like hers, which is kind of like this, and I put a cap on, and I wanted to look just like her. So I walked up to her looking just like her, and I'm like, hey, I'm Nick, you know, tried to make it look like she stole my look. And weirdly enough, you know, 4 years later, she's just grown into this massive success. It's really cool watching her. She's got this really hypnotic vibe, and she's got the glasses, she's got the goggles that do that, whatever that is, and and she's really just dark, deep, EDM, like almost industrial, I would call it, this mid-tempo, slow industrial thing. But people vibe out, man. People love her.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them.
If I know the Toronto crowds, they eat that up. So she's in probably the right place. I was laughing about Dead Mouse because here in this age when we're all wearing masks, that guy, trendsetter for a long time, already wearing a mask, killing it.
He can go anywhere he wants as long as he's got the mouse hat on.
That's great. What do you have future-wise as far as yourself for EPs, solo stuff, or other collabos in the works?
Well, now that we're doing this, I mean, I've been putting together an EP. I'm about to deliver it, so that's coming during the summer. It's probably the first time anyone in public has heard about that, so that one's going to be really cool. It definitely follows the same type of vibe as this one. It's called Time Isn't Real, and it's got this alternative electronic, gritty vibe. The songs are really like applicable to anybody. Like, I think a lot of people will be able to relate to them, but they also have teeth. So, it's just, I don't know. It's going to be cool, man. You're going to be the first to hear it. I'll send it over to you.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. GRABBITZ, thanks for taking time to talk to us today. If you haven't seen or listened to the single, it's called Someone Else. REZZ, that's REZZ, or wait, she's from Canada. REZZ.
Yeah, REZZ.
GRABBITZ with a Z on the end.
GRABBITZ with a Z, yep. I'm cool. I'm only cool because I have a Z at the end of my name and not an S.
Listen, you take care. It's really nice to catch up. It's GRABBITZ on KISS 98.5.
Thank you so much. KISS 98.5, Buffalo, rock on, baby.